will welcome to the show Kathy Behrens, who is a part of the Redlands Conservancy. Welcome to the show, Kathy.
Hi,
Thank you.
Kathy.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I was going to say I wanted to start with the Sunday Fun Day because that is this Sunday at 9 a.m. That is in Oakmont Park, correct?
That's right. And what the actual emphasis for that event is going to be is on taking inspiration from the beautiful area and writing poetry to reflect your experience.
Okay.
So we have some people who are poets who will help you think about how to express what you feel when you walk among the oak trees down there. Should be a lot of fun.
Is it a sit down on those tables there at the base of the trail, or is it a hike?
There'll be a little bit of walking, some reflection. I think they're planning to help you think about how to express what you see, and then they'll have some notepads for you to work with and sit on the benches and try to capture your thoughts afterwards.
And this is a free event?
It is free, and we ask that you register using the Eventbrite site, which I think is linked, as you said, from the About Redlands location.
Right. We have it posted so you know how many people to expect.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Kathy, have you returned from your bike ride across the country?
Yes, I am home. We've been home.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that Tony?
Yeah, hi.
I think that we still owe each other a chocolate martini.
I'm game.
Oh, wow.
Deborah's coming.
I was going to say, can I come?
You are definitely coming.
Well, we have, the Redlands Conservancy has an annual event that's really pretty fabulous, and it's coming up on the 18th of February, and it is the 2017 Emerald Necklace Grand Tour.
Oh, yeah. This used to be the tour of the Emerald Necklace, and I think the first year it was called the Chew and View. Is that right? Can you tell us about this event, Kathy?
Certainly. The Emerald Necklace Grand Tour is our opportunity to have people from Redlands and elsewhere in the area come out and see some of the beautiful places that surround our town. What we call our Chew and View sites are actually the stops that we make along the route, and people have an opportunity there both to chew, to enjoy a taste of Redlands from one of our local restaurants or chefs, and then to view, so to learn something about why that particular area is important or how it factors into our open space plan, if there are new trails, for instance, or the park areas that people haven't had a chance to explore yet.
The first year that I went home with a list of places that I hadn't realized where you could go hiking, and we have hiking trails and biking and horseback riding and bird watching trails. And I went home with a list, and every Saturday my realtor and I grabbed our dogs and went for a hike. She complained it was too hot, and I complained it was too early, but we had a great time anyway because it's so nice. I mean, there's such good environments, and we were exposed to some restaurants that we hadn't known were so good. Right?
That's exactly the point.
Can you describe a little bit more about these Chew and View spots?
Certainly. There's a couple of new places that we're very excited about sharing this year. One of those is the pond in the San Timoteo Nature Sanctuary. So you're talking about taking a walk. I bet you do not know that we actually have a lovely little wildlife pond where we are getting a good number of birds that are coming in and hanging around and there for bird watchers to enjoy. And that is in the San Timoteo Nature Sanctuary, right off of San Tim Canyon Road near Fern Street.
Now,
so
have you
that's
been
going
to
to be one of our stops.
I didn't know
this year.
that. I didn't know anything about that. Wow. Okay. All right.
Okay, so I think it's your turn to ask a question.
Oh, okay. Well, I know. I'm sorry. I'm going off. Let's say. Well, we know that the event is February 18th, Saturday. And do you have a rain date?
The rain date will be the following weekend. Although my crystal ball says we're going to have great weather on the 18th.
Okay. Nice.
Now these places, these are city-owned open space and park parts of the Emerald Necklace here, and they're free to go to in general, but this is not a free event, right?
That is correct. That is correct. This is the Grand Tour is one of the Conservancy's major fundraising events each year. So we have sponsors in the form of our restaurants, our chefs who donate their time, the breweries that we visit, because the breweries really are a very important part of Redlands tourism draw. We're getting lots of people to town to try our home brew, and those various entities all donate product to share with our tourists. So this is a fundraiser, either on the bicycle or in your own auto. You can do the tour, or if you really want the grand treatment, you get on the bus, and we ply you with champagne and take you around the route.
Yeah, I had more beer given to me as part of my ticket than I was able to drink, I think.
Okay, so then how do people sign up on the Eventbrite as well?
Yes, and there's a fairly short, going to Eventbrite right now, it's popping up as one of the primary items in the Redlands area. But if you have any trouble finding it, you could take this down. It's ENGT, that's Emerald Necklace Grand Tour, so ENGT-4th-edition.eventbrite, and that will get you right to the page.
Okay, and then, of course, we have it on the About Redlands event calendar, and it's also on Facebook, all over the place on Facebook. So
yes,
along the route, then, it does start at 8 a.m., and then where does it begin? Okay, you know what I want to ask, though, because this may be a little confusing to people. You have a bus tour. That's a separate event than the biking. And can you at least explain that to us a little bit?
Certainly. We offer 3 different ways for people to enjoy the tour. So if you're on 2 wheels, you can ride your bicycle. There are 2 different routes that you can choose. So you can either do a longer, a little bit more strenuous route that does go through both San Tim Canyon and Live Oak Canyon. And that is completely achievable for anybody who does a lot of regular riding around Redlands, because we're all accustomed to climbing those canyons anyway. Mm-hmm. But for people who are not comfortable there, we have a shorter route that will avoid the canyons, and it circles around on the north side of the city. So you miss 1 or 2 of the stops, but other than that, it's the same experience. And then some people choose to drive, and so they will start a little bit later than the bicyclists do. And then for those who want to have kind of the ultra experience, then we have the bus option. And what makes that so special is that our special guest on the bus is Pete Dangerman, and he is one of the original authors and planners for the Emerald Necklace back in 1987. So he just has a wealth of stories to tell about, how we have gotten to where we are and what's up next on the horizon. It's always great to hear from him.
The way I've always done it is the self-driving tour, and that is just a lot of fun. My friend and I go, and you guys give us a map, and we just go from one stop to the next.
Yeah, that's what we did.
When we ran into the bus, and we didn't want to wait for them to all get their food and hear their thing, then we'd just go to the next stop and then circle back. And then it ended up, there was a party at Heritage Park, and there was lunch and music, and it was just it really makes a nice day. And you do really get a sense of Redlands, and you run into other members of the community. And I'm just, if I can herald this event here right now, I just really want to. I don't think you told us how much it costs, though.
The bus tour is $105. You're basically one of our underwriters for the event, and either the cycling or the auto tourist is $50. Now, what that gets you is all of the tastes as you go along the way. As Tony mentioned, also the stops at the breweries, and they are generous. And then there's the lunch and the after party, and if you register by February the 10th, you also get the event T-shirt.
Okay, so then registration ends February 10th?
Well, we end our reservation when we've sold 300 spots.
Ah, okay.
So that's our limit for the event, because we want to be certain that we are able to handle it. We don't want it to be too large and not have a great experience for everybody. But if we're going to order a T-shirt for you, we need to know in time to get you your T-shirt. So that's the 10th.
Okay, February 10th for the T-shirt. Got you.
Right.
Okay. And then the Chew and View you talked a little bit about. Did you, Tony? Did you have any?
No, we're all the way down to where you ask about how local businesses can get involved.
Oh.
One of my
we have
very,
questions
very
here. Yeah,
favorite.
Tony's here to keep me on track. So, how can local businesses get involved?
Well, I'll tell you, there is nothing I love to talk about more than our local businesses, because Conservancy really does have an amazing base of support here in town. There are just a lot of local businesses that understand and recognize how valuable it is to have not only our beautiful setting for the town, but the old buildings that are in our town, and they enjoy being part of those structures and having their businesses in them. So we are, this is a fundraiser. We are happy to accept any and all donations towards underwriting the event. And if you are a food provider and you have some special treat that you would like to share, then I would love to hear from you so that we could offer what you've got at one of our Chew and View